Grab your hot beverage. For me, it's apple cranberry tea today. I drink a lot of tea in the winter. And let's dive into the good stuff. So, the projections for 2025. Now, these all came from top economists from the National Association of Realtors. These aren't my projections, these are theirs. So, they do this every year. So, I'm going to share their projections. So, first of all, interest rates. What are we expecting? Sixes is what they said. We've already kind of started the year here and seen a little bit of the sevens too. So sixes and sevens for 2025. Then what about inventory? We are expecting to see more houses, which there was more in 2024, and we're expected to see even more in 2025. And then price growth is expected to be pretty flat or minimal growth, and then more home building to occur in 2025. Next, I'm going to talk about Fond du Lac proper, and I still think this can be useful information even if you don't live in the city of Fond du Lac. But let's look at how many houses sold in 2024. So that was 430 houses total. Now, this is up from 2023, which was 370. So that's a good sign that we definitely saw more houses, but you can also see that we were not all the way up to the level of 2022 when 510 sold. But we're getting there, and we're hoping to get there this next year, 2025. Median home price for 2024. So how I calculate this for the whole year is every single month I've been tracking the median home price. So I take the median of all the medians, and that's how I got 220K. I also did an average of all the medians, and that ended up being 218K. So very close to each other around that 220K mark. And I also like to look back a year ago and compare it. So a year ago, that median, when I calculated it the same way, was about 197K. And then if you look back the year before that, it was around 170K. So you can see how we jumped 25-ish K and then another 20K. And I don't think that the median home price is going to jump that much again when we are having this conversation a year from now. This craziness is hoping to take a little bit of a chill pill here and not be that much. Houses definitely did sell over asking price, but it's not like it was all of them. So it was about a third of them in the beginning and the end of the year. Those end caps, we saw about a third. So January, March, October, November, December, all of those months, about a third of the houses sold over asking price. February and September were in the 40s for 40-something% selling over. And then April, May, June, August, those middle months was 50 to 60% selling over asking price. And July was our hottest month for 2024 with 65% selling over asking price. So you can see, again, if you are looking to sell and you want to go over and get the most, that middle chunk of the year, really April through August, was the hottest. So I just finished talking about peak months where people got over asking price. And we're seeing something similar with the price reductions. So April to September, less than a quarter of the houses that sold took price reductions. The rest of the year, it was in the upper 20s for a percent, up to 40% that took price reductions. The market slowed slightly from 2023 to 2024, but not by much. So in 2023, around 62% of houses that sold were accepting offers in around 1 week's time. And here in 2024, we saw that as 53%, so around half, which is still pretty awesome that half the homes that sold could accept an offer in around 1 week's time. But what's interesting, though, is we have the same percentage in 2023 and 2024 for the amount of homes that accepted an offer by about 1 month's time. So whether they sold in 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks or that month's time, up until a month, that was 87% of them that took around 1 month or less. So that is definitely still a seller's market if 87% of houses are selling in 1 month's time or less. median days on market was in the 30s and 40s for all of 2024. So that means from the time that a house hits the market to the time that it accepts an offer, goes through the whole process, and closes was in the 30s and 40s, other than January and February, which we would expect a little more being those winter months. So that's a pretty fast moving median days on market. Last of all, I want to talk about the inventory trends, so the amount of homes for sale, and look at that difference from 2023 to 2024, because hopefully it will give you that hope that we are seeing more. So in 2023, that whole first half of the year, really the first 5 months, it was in the 50s for amount of homes on the market at one time. Now, if we compare that to 2024, it started the year in the upper 60s and the low 70s. And that was just the first couple months. And then it kept climbing. It climbed from the 80s in spring all the way up to 115 in fall. Whereas 2023, we were in the 50s through May. And then it hit the 60s around June. And it climbed from the 60s to the 80s. So there's that good news that our starting point in spring of 2024 in the 80s was like the ending point of the climb of 2023 in fall. So 60s to 80s, 2023, 2024 was 80s all the way up to 115. And then at the end of the year, we tail off a little bit as we hit that winter market again. So in 2023, it went down to the 80s and the 50s. Whereas 2024 was the 90s and the 70s. So have that hope that we are seeing more inventory and that we will continue to see more in 2025. If you want a summary of this video, just go ahead and read the captions so you can re-get all those details. And then if you want a market update for your specific neighborhood, feel free to DM me. I am starting those this week. So if you want to know what's going on in your own neighborhood, I can do that for you. Again, I am Bethany Warnches with Addison Jones. Cheers to 2025, and I hope to be helping you sell or buy or just keep you posted, have some fun locally, and see you around on my page.